Alright, so this is the carburetor off the Allis Chalmers B. I got a rebuild kit for it. I'm going to rebuild it. I've already took that piece off right here. Looks like it's got roll pins that hold this shaft on. It would. Just to be irritating. So I'm going to get some of the stuff off the outside first. Try to take this plug right here out. I'm going to try to keep it in the frame for you. Nothing left in there. Darn, that looks crusty. I don't know if you can see that up in there. There's a little fuel left in there. See if I can get this off. No filter. Looks pretty crusty in there too. That off of there. Now I can get this main jet out. There's a little seal on the back of that. Not plugged. This main idle adjustment screw out of there. I got a new one of those. Don't look too bad down in there. Alright, so I think I can take the bowl off. Well, might as well pull this choke shaft. Might have to get. That one came loose. Hope this other one does the same. Yep. I gotta get it out of there. I don't know what's holding it. Oh, I see. There it goes. Now the choke shaft will slide out. And there are seals right there, I think. I got new seals. Looks alright in there. Have to get the roll pin out of that. Get the roll pin out of that. I can slide this shaft out. Alright, now I can take the bolt off. That's different that it actually has choke shaft seals. I've never seen that before. And I rebuilt the Zenith that's on the Massey Harris. It's a later model Zenith. It didn't have those. And it's dark outside, the reason I didn't show taking it off. I'll show putting it back on though. I got a full rebuild kit with a new float, genuine zenith. I'll show it later in the video, of course. There it goes. Come on. There it goes. Yeah, that's bad. These are Venturi. I'll polish that. It's actually a cast aluminum Venturi. A few jets. There's a jet here that comes out. That one doesn't come out. And then this one here, the emulsion tube. And here, you got the float. So gasket off here. Homemade. Needle. That's a pretty nice looking one. And I do hang on to all my used carburetor parts, just in case. Don't know if my screwdriver is big enough. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a wider screwdriver for that. And I'm gonna have to find the smaller one for this, I think. Maybe not. Nope, I got it. I think my kit comes with a new one of these, and I may have to clean this one. It's a little crusty. Have to get the emulsion tube out. Let me see if I can find a socket. That's one of the little choke shaft seals. It's like a little cup with a doodad on it that holds that felt. And I got new seals in the kit. If I can ever get these out of here. There it goes. There. That one's destroyed. But like I said, we got new ones. And by the way, this is a Zenith 12522. Alright, here's the emulsion tube. Focus. I don't know if you can see the little holes in it or not. And it's got a little gasket on it too. Alright, so it's time to start putting this carburetor back together. Everything's cleaned up. Looks nice. Now I'm not going to be putting the throttle and choke shafts back in first like they say, because the kit that I wound up with was short the seals. So I messaged the seller and they're sending me another kit that has the seals in it. But everything's perfectly clean. So I got to put the new seat in and get the float height set. So I'm going to get started on that. Here's a new needle and seat kit. and the new float. These are genuine Zenith parts. I just want to be sure everything looks like it's going to fit all right. Yeah. Then there's a gasket. I'm going to sit this back in there. Gasket on there. Alright. Alright, now we're ready to install the seat. I'm going to put just a little bit of Permatex Indian head on the threads of the seat, just to be sure that the threads don't leak, because the threads are kind of loose. Just a little bit. As you can see, just a little bit on the threads. Get it off my fingers. A little bit got on that gasket too, but that's alright. And I had to break out the big screwdriver, so it's way overkill. It's the only one wide enough to fit this slot. Just snug it up. Don't strip the threads out. Not like it. These threads are kind of loose anyway, so this is our new needle. And drop it in there. Fits nicely. Must be a universal needle. It's got a slot in it. Now I gotta get the pin, which is in this bag. This is not a permanent installation of the float. It's just temporary so that I can set the height. Wrong way. Oh, no, it is the right way. Okay. I think I gotta go at this from a different angle. There. And as you can see, they are not level. So you just gotta kind of bend them. But I gotta get this pin to where it goes all the way through. Apparently it's a trick just to get the float in there. Open this little notch up just a hair, or the pin will fit all the way through. And then I guess you crimp it back down on the pin to keep the pin from walking out. There we go. But you can just bend the floats down, which I'll do off camera. Alright, so I set the float height off camera. The paper that came with my kit said to set the floats 1 5/32 from the throttle body. So I took my little 3-inch height gauge and set it to 1 5/32. It may look like there's a little gap there, but it's not. and set the floats to 1 and 5/32. So we should be ready to assemble everything. Alright, so now I've got the bottom half of the carburetor. I'm going to put the emulsion tube back. There's a little gasket that goes on it. It's here somewhere. See if this is it. Yep, that's it. I'm trying to show this, but it's hard. There we go. Now, my small jets are in here. This I remember. That's the main jet. We'll go on ahead and install it here in a second because there is a gasket that goes underneath it. And then this little tiny one in here. This one that has no gasket goes right here. Get started. Use my other screwdriver. Install it and just snug it up. Don't over tighten it. Alright, so now this little red gasket goes on the main jet. It goes up in here. I still can't really show this all that great. Just snug it up, don't over tighten it. There's the main jet. Right down in there. And I think that's it for the small jets. I'm also going to need some of the stuff out of here in a minute. Alright. So I think that's all for the bottom half. Pretty much. Now for the top. We're going to need to install the float and the needle and our main bolt gasket, which I was glad to see is Interface brand, and it's made in the USA just like the carburetor kit. It's going to go on here like this. There's a little pitting right in here, so I'm going to dab some Permatex right in here, just so we don't have no issues with it leaking around that. Not going to put any Permatex on the gasket, because this good Interface brand material, it should seal. I just wanted to put some in there to fill some of these pitted places. So now we need the pin, and the first thing we got to do is set the gasket on. I don't know if you can see me or not here. Gasket's gonna go like this, not like that. I don't think. Nope, like this. trying to find some place to sit this. There we go. Like that. And our new float pin. We can drop the needle down and put our new float in. And then these two little ears here are supposed to crimp onto that pin to keep it from drifting. Like that. And be sure our gasket and everything's lined up. I'm going to need my 4 screws out of here. That one, that one, that one, that one. I don't think I'm forgetting nothing. So, and gotta be careful not to hit the floats. I can sit that down, reinstall the screws. And I guess I will have another gasket for this in case this one does leak. Except for my stupid rear end has forgot to put the Venturi in there, which is what I was told not to do. I was just checking the fit anyways. Let's drop that in there. Which I did polish, by the way. Put it in there like that. I was just joking anyways. I guess I'd be best to put it in the top first. Maybe it's supposed to go before the gasket. So I take the float back off. The only part of the instructions I read was about the float height. Only hardly fit through the hole. A good friend of mine told me, and I know he's watching the video too, don't forget to put that in Venturi in there. Thing is, apparently it's a pain in the rear end to even get it in there. It sits like that. Alright, I'm going to do this off camera. It took some doing, but I finally got it. I actually got it as soon as I turned the camera off, but there we go. And now we can put the float back on. And get this piece lined up just right or it won't fit. And there went my float pin. Apparently I need to crimp that little piece down some more. Alright, so it was a teetotally royal pain in the rear end, but I finally got it. Venturi's in there. Everything looks alright. Finally can put the screws back. Now I will say all the holes lined up perfectly with these screws in the gasket. And if this was a universal kit, it wouldn't have. And it'll still be a few days before this is back on the tractor and has gas in it. So to give that gasket time to sit. No reason to over tighten these either. And that gasket, the later carburetors had a screw back here. That's why there's a hole sticking out. Might take a little pair of nippers or something and cut that off. Now there's pretty well the base of it. We'll get the main jet adjustment put in. That's what this little gasket is for. Run this in until it touches, which is right there. Half, one hole, half, one hole. What I always start with, I need to tighten this packing too. Maybe try to tighten the whole thing. Now if I tighten the packing, kinda may have to work on that. Alright, I got it to where it's a good seal. Not gonna be leaking out of there. One half, one hole, one half, one hole. Go ahead and get our idle adjustment put back. Go ahead and put my lid back on my little jar before I lose something. I'm going to start the same with the idle adjustment. There, half, one hole, half, one hole. But I gotta wait until my throttle and choke shaft seals get here. Hopefully tomorrow or Saturday, because I've got to use this tractor Saturday. I've got quite a bit of sickle bar mowing needs to be done. Everything's perfectly clean. Everything's back together. So I guess that'll be about it until I get the rest of my parts. Alright, so I finally got the carburetor kit with the right seals, or the actual seals included. Same carburetor kit. I'm gonna oil that. Been in that bushing. To work it in there. There we go. These little washers go in there. Now I can install the throttle shaft finally. You got good drag on it, like it's sealing correctly. There we go. Alright, so now I can do the choke shaft. Same general deal. Bit of oil. There we go. There we go. Alright, so there it is, all finished. Finally. Alright, I think it's ready to do some sickle bar mowing. Alright, so I guess that's going to about do it for the carburetor video. And for the more observant people out there, you'll know that I put the venturi in it upside down the first time. Let me turn the flash on here. And I'm going to, and I did take it back apart and flip it around. And it runs really, really good. Except for the, well, it runs really, really good anyways, but I had a lot of trouble out of the magneto. Got 4 new plugs in it. It runs good now, but the impulse on the mag is kind of weak. So I actually got a new old stock mag on the way for it. This mag ain't going to waste though. I've got another project for this mag here. The oil's staying good and clean. I did change it. It's had about probably a couple of hours put on it since I changed it. I've done a little bit of sickle bar mowing with this thing. Got a new air cleaner cap, and I made an extension. Getting ready to change the oil and the final drives. I got it up here in the big barn. Won't have to ignore the mess. So that'll be probably the next video. I'll be changing the oil and the final drives and the transmission, because that oil is nasty. The transmission ain't that bad, but the final drives are. So you can tell by all that stuff in the grill. I've been mowing with it. But the carburetor works really good now. No issues out of it. Got the air cleaner on it. So that's going to be it for the carburetor rebuild video. Stay tuned for the final drives and transmission. And other stuff to come on this. And I got all kind of other projects. So that'll be it for this video. We'll see you on the next one.